It's another rainy day here in South Wales. How's the weather with you today? We had rain yesterday and we have rain today. Wet and dreary out there, look, and windy. There's a squirrel out there. Oh, missed. We very nearly had a trip out today to the ironworks, which are in Blaenavon in South Wales. But we looked at the weather forecast and it was just continuous rain throughout the whole day. So we will do that another time and we'll take you with us to have a look at those. But today we're going to crack on with our normal homeschool routine instead. Izzy's just having a shower at the moment. We're at IB's house still, in case you didn't notice or you didn't see the last vlog. Just in case you haven't seen this channel before, our house is on the verge of being sold and we're moving, but it's being delayed and I don't really know why. There's lots of ping-ponging going backwards and forwards between the solicitors and me and everybody. And the house is quite packed and it just doesn't feel like a home anymore, so we're staying with my boyfriend at the moment. I'm not feeling at my best today. I've got a bit of a sore throat coming on. And earache. Not good. So it's probably not the wisest thing to be practicing flute for hours today, but I think I might do a bit of editing. It's amazing how much editing you get done when you don't spend hours playing the flute in a day. Whoops. Not a lot in there today. There was something I particularly needed, shall we say, that I only brought one of. Now that's an arty shot. Emergency item going on radiator. The rest can go on the airer. Oh, these are dry. I can put these away. IB got a new hangy thingy just for me from IKEA the other day. That was nice of him. So I shall have the pleasure of transferring my stuff from that plastic chest of drawers into it. Izzy, meanwhile, is cracking on with her Conquer Maths online maths curriculum. I'll show you where she's at with it. This is the Conquer Maths sort of homepagey bit. You can see she's on Key Stage 3, but not for much longer. From September, she'll be Key Stage 4. Here are the 4 categories, but these break down into subcategories. I'll show you now. So, for instance, if we click on number, these are all the different categories that come up under that. And she's done all of these actually, so let me just show you, for instance, the number system. We've got, 11 of these lessons to do. So she's done all the ones in number. Algebra she's still working on, so she's done 14 out of 14 of that one, 7 out of 7, 10 out of 14 for that one, 11 out of 17 for that one. Shape, space and measure, she's done all of those. Handling data, what's she done? Yep, she's done all of those. So it's just algebra. She's just on the tail end of algebra. Let's see how many she's got left. 4 of those and 6 of those, so that makes 10 in total left to do. The way I plan it out pretty much is I mark out all the term times, all the sort of official school times on the calendar. The academic year, it ends there in July for us. That's when we break up, look, officially in the UK. Obviously, homeschoolers do not need to stick to these days whatsoever. I just use it as a rough guide, and also she does like to hang out with friends who go to school, and she does holiday clubs and things like that and half-term clubs, so it's kind of handy in a way to stick to the same times that the school kids study. But anyway, I basically work out how many weeks there are in an academic year and look at how many lessons she's got to do in that academic year. Or in the case of Key Stage 3, that lasts for 3 years. So I've basically just divided it all up to make sure that she does roughly the same number every week until they're all done. And she's actually a little bit ahead of time. Some of the lessons are a lot easier than others. Some of them she'll fly by, she'll just do them in 10 minutes, no problem. Others she might need to spend 2 or 3 days going over them. She might get it all wrong and then have to revisit it and redo it and redo it. So she doesn't move on until she's got at least about 80% usually on a lesson. Anyway, including this week, we have 6 weeks left before the schools break up for the summer holidays. So she's literally down to 1 or 2 maths lessons per week to finish on target. So that's good. And then, oh joy of joys, Key Stage 4. So in Britain, that's what students do between the ages of 14 and 16. And again, I've got all these categories and the number of lessons clearly laid out. Algebra, etc. Key Stage 4 is only 2 years, but Key Stage 3 was 3 years. So that's why there's less of Key Stage 4. I shouldn't really be practicing with a sore throat, but I'm very tempted to get my flute out anyway, because this is like the time in the day when she's doing her independent bit of study that I can get to do my independent bit of study as well that I need to do for my work. I have got a gig coming up at the weekend. Yes, at long last. Been getting a bit skint, haven't had any gigs for a little while. That's the thing when you're self-employed, isn't it? You get better years and worse years. Oh, I can't out myself. I'm going to have a little play. IB's working in his office in a little building right next to the house, so I'm going to make him a nice cup of tea and then just do a bit of flute. Izzy made us pancakes for breakfast this morning. That's the aftermath of that. She makes them differently to I do. I got my recipe from a French lady, and mine are really eggy and rubbery, but in a good way. They're nice. And Izzy's learned hers from a YouTube video, which was American, which is the sweet pancakes. So my batter doesn't have any sugar in, so I will quite often have like spinach and mushrooms and garlic and stuff in mine, whereas Izzy's has sugar in, so you have to have something sweet with it or it just doesn't go. She does the sort of smaller diameter ones like that, and they're thicker, whereas mine are really thin and they spread across the whole pan. So we had a bit of a Nutella and syrup and honey fest this morning for breakfast. That's IB's tea ready to go, and that's my coffee. IB has soya milk too, or oat milk. He's not a vegan, same as me. Neither of us are vegan, and he's not even vegetarian actually, or even pescatarian, but you know, we try the alternatives, and if we like them, we switch to that alternative. 2 trips in and out of the house later. I took him the coffee up by mistake and then had to come back and swap it for tea. Well, he did offer to come and get it himself, but I insisted. I managed to spill a bit on a diagram he was drawing too, but he was very understanding about it. In fact, he didn't seem at all bothered. I wiped it off quick with my hand. Oh well, half an hour in and I've had to give up the ghost. Banging headache, sore throat. It's not the best day for practicing, so that's enough for today. It's now about, getting on for 3 o'clock. I've just had a Skype lesson of Portuguese for 45 minutes and Izzy's having the last 15 minutes of it. She's got a shorter attention span than me for these things. We do it on Skype, on my Skype, so if you're hearing little bleep noises every so often, that's where the teacher's writing things on the screen, and it's obviously, I've got the same account on my phone. It's my laptop. I'm going to cook some lunch. I am starving. I'm rehashing some leftovers from yesterday. That's what you need when you're ill, isn't it? Low effort. Shoved a bit of passata in and some veggie mince out of the freezer. And a bit of garlic. That'll do. I'm feeling worse, you know. Oh, me not feel well. Maybe I'll feel better after a bit of a feed. Izzy's finished up with her lesson now. We discovered the other day that We the Curious, the Science Centre in Bristol, has a YouTube channel and it appears to have lots of science videos on it. So that's what we're going to try over lunch today. We'll give those a go. Izzy's just setting it up now.
There can be a whole ecosystem of microorganisms. Oh yes, yeah.
We watched a couple of those videos on the We the Curious YouTube channel and they were quite good actually. Not bad at all. We'll definitely revisit those. I'll put a link to that channel in the description of this video for you. Speaking of science, Izzy's going to read some science to me now out of the book. Aha! Evidence that the child is real and exists.
I am a hologram. She is lying. She doesn't have a child. She's only pretending to have a child for the views.
Yeah, just for now, until we know what she's doing next year in the way of college or not, we're just reading our way through the science curriculum in a sort of more informal way. Izzy's taking charge of it. She's teaching it to me. She's interpreting it from the page and teaching it to me and then quizzing me about it afterwards to see if I've been listening. And because she's enjoying it and she's engaged with it, I'm going with that technique just for now until we know what we're doing next year. I've just made Izzy a sort of strawberry milkshake, but made with oat milk. and I just had a little sneaky taste of it, and it is delicious. Oh. I actually impulsively put a tiny bit in my tea as well, like 1/4 of a teaspoon of it. Not bad, it's giving it that little extra strawberry sweetness. I'm not sure if I'd do it again, but you know, it was worth a try. We've just been learning about hermaphrodites, haven't we, Izzy? And sequential hermaphrodites, who certain species that if there aren't enough of the other gender to produce young, they'll just change to the other one.
Yeah, but that's so weird. It's like, hey, we don't have enough males to make babies. You there, zap, boom, you're a male.
Anyway, what else is a hermaphrodite? Slug, wasn't it? What else? Didn't it say a slug? What? Earthworms and snails.
Did you say earthworms?
Earthworms.
Replay, go and see. Mummy, you know you said earthworms. Mummy, we have found a typo. Look at this. Brightly coloured petals attack pollinating animals. I think they mean attract because they don't do this. I'm a flower. Get away from me, pollinating insect. They don't do that. That's for sure.
It's about 5:30 now. I've been having a nap. Oh man, I did not start feeling more ill. Glands hurting, banging headache, sore throat, earache. Unfortunately, I've got a very, very, very busy few days coming up, and there's just no way I can not go and do the things I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm really hoping that by tomorrow morning I'm going to be feeling okay again. But in the meantime, Izzy and IB have gone shopping without me this evening, and I think they're coming back with chips from the chippy for tea. But anyway, thank you so much for watching today. Do give the video a like if you liked it, because it really helps the channel to grow. Comment down any thoughts below and hit the subscribe button to follow more adventures. And I'll see you in the next one, hopefully feeling better. Good night.